So you can talk a bit about work experience for voluntary work. So when it comes to work experience, it's quite hard to arrange work experience at a hospital. At least in my experience, you have to ask a long time in advance. They'll have a waiting list of plenty of other sort of anywhere from year 10 to year 12 pupils who want experience because they're applying. So starting in year 10 is a good thing to get ahead of the game, but obviously not everyone knows they're applying to medicine when they're in year 10. They might not know until maybe a year before the process or even earlier. In which case, don't stress too much about not having relevant experience in a hospital setting. If it's easier to get it in the GP clinic, then you will be under no disadvantage. You'll just have different experiences, which you can talk about at length in your interviews.
And don't feel the pressure to have like 5 weeks of work experience or something. Even if it's just a few days, it's about what you learnt and how that helped you understand that you want to do medicine. And keep pestering the people that you're trying to get work experience from, because often if you send an email, they may see it and they may want to reply, but they might forget because they've got so much to do. So make sure you are on top of it. And try it everywhere you can try. Literally, even if you just type in medical centre in Google Maps or something and you come with loads, just apply to as many as you can, because you may get more no's than yes, but as long as you get a few yeses or even just one, that's enough. I think the first time I did work experience for medicine was after my GCSEs, so that summer we had, because you've got a really long summer, and I think that's one of the best times you can do work experience.
Yeah. I think when you're emailing those people, you have to remind them that you have a very sort of wide availability. You can come at any point during the day, weekends, evenings, whenever. Yeah. That will, incentivise them to take the effort of trying to organise it, because all they'll have to do is say yes, rather than yes, can you make it at these times, or no, etc. So that's work experience you talked about. When it comes to getting voluntary work, what sort of timescales do you think is appropriate for a medical application?
I think you want one volunteering to definitely be long-term in a sort of medical setting. So for me, my long-term volunteering was at a care home. And so by the time I'd submitted my personal statement, I'd already done over a year of it. And that really shows commitment. If you can somehow arrange work experience at a local care home, or perhaps a school or something that can relate to medicine, that will help. And definitely try to arrange that as early as you can. You may have a lot of paperwork to do. You may have like DBS forms, because you will be with people a lot and you may have to do some stuff. But definitely, I think having one long-term volunteering is actually really important, because that shows true commitment.
Yeah, so that's something they'll be looking for. And across sort of work experience and voluntary experiences, you need to be noting down the things that you do learn or the new impressions you have. So keeping a little notebook, keeping a little diary of not just, chronicling what you do day to day, but an experience followed by your own reflection of it. That's not something that's hard to do, When you're on the job, you can just bear it in mind that at the end of the day, just scribble it down. So when it comes to writing a personal statement, you can literally just lift what's in your notebook and put it straight onto the personal statement. And, that'll probably be the best thing that you can draw from your experience.
Yeah, and I think, it's great to get experience in a clinical setting, and you can do that through various means. So I was part of an organisation called SMF, Social Mobility Foundation, and we started at the start of year 13, and then throughout the year they gave us different opportunities, like going to workshops and lectures to explore a career that we're interested in. And then with the help of the SMF, I got a work experience at a hospital. But at the same time, also, as we said, long-term volunteering experiences. So I also helped out at my school's campus center for autistic children. So it doesn't have to be in a clinical setting. It could even be that you're a peer mentor in your school, but something that shows commitment and something that you can learn skills such as teamworking, communication skills is useful. So, don't worry if you don't have, a lot of clinical work experience, but anything. So I was also working at Humon at year 12, and I still got to talk about that during my interviews, and I did learn a lot from these experiences. So it's personal to everyone. It's just things that you do that you can learn from and you can talk about it.
And I also think, if possible, try to find volunteering that covers a wide range of people. So like, not only did I volunteer at a care home, but for 5 weeks one summer I volunteered at a school which was also a school for blind people or severely disabled people. And well, these are children. So here I also got to work with children, and it just showed I could communicate in various ways. And you know, I also really enjoyed it, and it showed me that I like to work with people. So not only is it good for your application, but it's also reassuring for yourself. Because throughout this experience, you also need to understand that it's not only for the CV, but it's actually because this should show you that you want to do medicine, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so if you have your long-term commitment nailed down, don't think that's the end of the story. You know, keep your eye out. If you see an opportunity, if your school's involved in a charity, or if your friends are involved in a voluntary work thing somewhere nearby, you know, there's no reason why you wouldn't also apply and also get involved. Even if it's a couple of weeks, showing that you can, you know, spread your wings and throw yourself into a different environment, I think it's worthwhile. I think it's worth doing.
Yeah, it's definitely your own journey, you know. Do the things that you think you can gain and learn a lot from. So yeah, and you don't need to worry too much about it. Just take on the opportunities that that come to you, and you know, do take an effort to explore what you have available to you. But at the same time, you know, don't be too instrumental. Just learn from the things, because at the end of the day, you do want to embark on this course and you want to explore the career in medicine and do it in a way that you can learn from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.